Wooper is one of the derpiest, yet most beloved Pokemon of all time, so you might be equal parts ecstatic and terribly depressed to hear that Wooper was almost a starter Pokemon. Probably. It seems that Wooper is so popular not only with the fans, but with Game Freak themselves that it nearly gained the status of becoming a starter, and actually inspired another one. So the following is just a theory of my own, but all of the evidence adds up pretty significantly, as you will soon see. The idea here is that upon creating Wooper, Game Freak loved it so much that they actually made a starter Pokemon based on it, which ultimately resulted in Mudkip in Generation 3. The similarities between these two Pokemon start right away, as they both share an inspiration in the Axolotl. Not only that, but they also share a typing in Water Ground, with the typing being owned by Mudkip's evolutions in, well, Mudkip's case. We're not even that far into this, and it's already a little suspicious, as even though multiple Pokemon can be based on the same animal, it seldom happens with the same animal with the same typing in consecutive generations, especially with an animal as unique as the Axolotl. While suspicious though, it is only just the start of Wooper's meteoric rise to almost starterdom. As you may know, we are fortunate enough to know a ton about Generation 2's development thanks to multiple huge leaks of multiple beta demos for Gold and Silver, and this includes info about Wooper. Interestingly, as of 1997, Wooper did not exist, as it was not present in the 97 Gold and Silver beta demo that leaked a few years ago, even though its evolution Quagsire was. This is important to note because it shows that Wooper is not one of those old original Johto Pokemon like Ho-Oh or Togepi. It was instead a later addition to the Pokedex, which makes it more likely that the concept could be carried over to Gen 3 as they were wrapping up development on Gen 2. In fact, it seems that Wooper was a very late addition to the Johto games. From what we know currently, Wooper was not put into the games until around 1999, when it made its first appearance, again that we know of, in the Space World demo of Gold and Silver from that year that once again was recently leaked onto the internet. What really seals the deal though that Wooper was definitely a late addition is the fact that this 1999 build that Wooper first appears in is from August of 1999, which was only 3 months before the full release of Pokemon Gold and Silver in November of that same year. And even with only 3 months to go before the games were officially released, Wooper's design at this time was still significantly different to how it appears in the final games, with it being on all fours instead of bipedal. With Wooper's design not even being finalized just 3 months before the games were set to debut, probably makes it one of the last Johto Pokemon that was included into the games and finalized, which really helps to set up that idea of a carryover of inspiration into Gen 3. In fact, right before Gen 2 was set to debut is literally the perfect time for this to happen, because as we've learned over the years, right before one generation is about to release is usually when Game Freak starts working on the next one, so you would almost expect them to take the stuff they really enjoyed about Gen 2 that they weren't able to include and roll it over into Gen 3 as they started to work on the Hoenn games. Like, for instance, that 4-legged Wooper design. If you look at Beta Wooper and line it up side by side with Mudkip, you could practically call Beta Wooper a very early Mudkip design. They're honestly that similar, and I think that is exactly what Wooper could be. I think that around 1999, shortly before Pokemon Gold and Silver released, Game Freak came up with Wooper as a pre-evolution for Quagsire, who had already been in the games for a couple years prior, and they loved Wooper so much that they took its early design and made it the basis for the water starter of the next generation, which ultimately became Mudkip. If it hadn't been such a late addition to the games, who knows? Wooper might have even became the water starter for Johto as well, since we already know that the original Johto starter, Kurusu, was eventually replaced by Totodile. This might be just a theory at this point, but between the identical inspirations, the identical typings, the fact that these Pokemon debuted in generations one directly after the other, the evidence that Wooper was a late addition to Gold and Silver, the fact that its beta design is so similar in appearance to Mudkip, and the fact that they even have similar shiny forms for what it's worth, points me in one of two directions. Either Wooper was the direct inspiration for Mudkip and nearly became a starter Pokemon itself, or this is all one of the biggest coincidences of all time. I'll let you be the judge, but I don't think it would shock anyone if the Whoop Boy actually had starter Pokemon status behind the scenes at Game Freak. So that was my crazy theory about Wooper almost being a starter. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you're new for more Pokemon content all the time. You can also support the channel further if you would like, which helps me make videos just like this, by checking out my Pokemon remixes on Spotify. I am currently running a contest over there to celebrate the release of my new album, where for every 5,000 new listeners I can get between now and the release of the Diamond and Pearl remakes, I will be giving away a copy of those games, so be sure to check it out and give yourself a chance to win a free game while also helping out the channel at the same time. With that said, I will see you guys soon with another video, and until then, as always, I love you all, thanks for watching, and I will smell you guys later.